Hello and welcome to another video. So in this video, I want to take some time to answer the questions that I most often get about my Career Incubator course. Those are questions that people have either sent me on LinkedIn or asked during my webinars. I often find the questions repeating themselves, so I thought it would be useful to address all of them in one video, and probably this video will go out after the one where I actually walk you through the whole course. I show you all the modules. These two videos together should help you make the right decision if this course is for you or not. But if there is still something that you are wondering that I haven't addressed in either of those videos, then either put a comment under this video or send me a message on LinkedIn or send me an email, and I am happy to answer that. I'm also making this video because I want to chat a bit more about the course and like overall job seeking, but this is gonna be quite a casual video. I am sitting on our fluffy carpet and I'm currently quite heavily pregnant, so I'm desperately trying to be comfortable. That's why I'm sitting on the floor. It is not working, but I am trying. And I will also very probably be running out of breath, so please bear with me. And I hope nonetheless the content of this video will be very valuable. So let's dive in with the first common question, which is what's included. So as I mentioned, I already filmed a video where I walk you through the entire course. I share my screen, I show exactly what you will see once you join the course. I show the workbook, exactly the same that you will get. So that would probably be the right place to check if this is something you're wondering. But very like a brief overview, there is one intro module, then there is one module that is fully dedicated to exploring the right jobs for you to apply right now, considering your values, your interests, your background. We are talking about your long-term career goals. We are planning your career journey. It's a lot of introspection, a lot of work, but also a ton of value already just from that one module. Then we take all these learnings and we apply them in the next module, which is all about application materials to actually improve your CV, your LinkedIn profile, your cover letter, so that they present you in a way that you're very desirable for the job market. I share a lot of insights I have gained from my recruitment experience, so super valuable. Then there is a module dedicated to the most important job seeking activities. I take you through my proven method of how to apply for jobs, how to pick the right jobs, how to put together the application, how to structure that whole thing. Then we're going to talk about networking, personal branding, and increasing your employability. Very in depth, but very in a way that it is approachable to you, even though you are starting with these activities for the very first time. And finally, the last module, mindset lessons and ways to take care of your mental health so that you maintain motivation and positive mindset throughout your job seeking journey, that you are not crushed by rejections and not frustrated, but you are able to build resilience and get through all the unfortunate obstacles that you might be facing. So that's for the content. All this content is taught in videos that are on demand. You can watch them as many times as you would like. There's more than 12 hours of videos. It's a lot of content, but you have lifetime access, so you can take your time. And then you have the accompanying workbook, which follows exactly the structure of the videos and guides you to apply everything that I'm talking about to your specific situations. So the workbook itself is already super valuable resource, and together with the videos, it will really help you completely transform your job seeking journey. And although the course as it is right now, it is completed, it is finished, it has everything you need to succeed on your job seeking journey, I am also planning to add some extra module based on the feedback that I receive. Anything that I add to the course in the future, you will get access to it without paying anything extra, without having to do anything extra. You will simply get everything for the same money that you have paid for the course. And that will not always be the case. I will be increasing the price once I feel like the value of the course has increased. So by joining now at this current price, you can make sure that you do not pay anything extra and you still will have access to everything I will introduce in the future. The next question I get asked is how long the course will take me. So this really depends on how much time you have available. So as I mentioned, there is 12 hours of videos, so it will take you at least 12 hours to get through these videos, and then I would say the same, if not more, time to get through the workbook. And also implementing all the learnings that you gain. That is the most important part, of course. I've had some participants testing the course and they've been reporting how long it took them on average. And if you are someone who is, for example, now fully dedicated to job seeking, you should be able to finish it within 3 to 6 weeks. I think the 6 weeks is my recommended pace that you take on average a week for each module. Some of the modules require you to do more in the workbook or to do more in the real world to implement the learnings. And sometimes you just don't feel like doing it and you need a little break. So the 6 weeks is the time that I believe you should be able to go through the entire course. Next question I get asked is, how does this differ from other courses out there? And I have to say that I cannot answer that question, because when I was creating it, I wasn't looking what are other people offering and try to find some gap that I could fill. I was just thinking about what would have helped me when I was a job seeker, what are the things that I learned when I worked as a recruiter, and what are the things that my clients most often struggle with. And I combined that, but I did not compare it to any other existing resource. So to help me answer this question, I asked the participants that are already in the course and if they have any experience with other resources and what they would say, how did this course differ. They mentioned that the course is very integrated, that everything follows on top of each other, that it's not scattered. It's not like CV here, networking there. You do have different lessons, different modules, but the work builds on top of each other, and you will always use the previous learnings as you go through the course. So there is a very logical structure and the lessons really complement each other. The participants also mentioned that it's very geared towards actual application, so I'm not just telling you this is how a CV should look like. I'm telling you this is what you should include in your specific CV. I really focused on creating it in a way that when you finish watching the video and when you go through the workbook, you know exactly what to do next. You know exactly how to adapt your job seeking strategy, and you are not left wondering that, okay, this is really nice, but what do I actually do with it? I've had participants from different geographical regions, from very different fields, on different seniorities. I've had some very junior people, but people with 20 plus years of experience, and they all found a lot of value in the course. So it is like a perfect mix between advice that is universally applicable, that I just stand behind, that I know will work for you, whoever you are, wherever you are. But at the same time, I know very well where you need to consider your unique field and where you need to do some little research on how things work in your specific situation. And always when that situation comes, I address it in the course and I tell you, this is the point where you need to look at how things work in your specific case. But overall, the advice that I'm sharing is universally applicable because I have seen it being applied by lots of different people. Also, this was another interesting point that people told me, how does it differ from the existing resources, is that it actually really helped them to rethink overall their career direction. It forced them for the first time to actually sit down, think what they want from their career, and create some kind of a logical journey. And I'm very realistic. I know the world is not very predictable and that it doesn't work so that your career plan will look like that you will list positions and just smooth sailing through your career from one promotion to another. The world doesn't work like that, but that doesn't mean you should just approach your career completely randomly, never having any kind of plan, any direction, any goals. I have developed a method that actually works very well in the unpredictable world that we are living in, but also gives you some direction that you can always work towards. So many people have told me that after just going through the first two modules, they for the first time ever understood what they actually want to do with their life. And that makes me so happy because that is the foundation of everything. You can have the world's best CV, but if you don't actually know what you want to do, you will not be able to use that CV to get that. And that brings me to the final point. So the course is not called Find a Job. The course is called a Career Incubator. So it's the place where you get to kickstart your career. You will define the field in which you want to build your career. You will define your goals. You will define your journey, and you will start this journey with the first step, which is to finding your next job. And throughout the course, you will learn so many skills that will be useful to you for years, that will be useful to you even once you start in a new job. If you are an ambitious professional, which I believe you are, if you have high career goals, financial goals, if you want to achieve some kind of freedom through your work, if you want to start your own company, if you want to become very financially independent, then all these activities and all these career tips will help you build a career that will actually support all these goals. That is also one of the reasons why I'm giving you a lifetime access, because I know that there will be times, even once you do find a job, you will want to go back to, you will want to revisit some of these lessons and make sure you are succeeding in your next goals, which could be getting a promotion, finding a different job, starting a company even, and the course will support you in that as well. So the next question I receive very often is that people would send me like a very specific detailed description of their current situation, of their background, what they have been through, what kind of jobs they are looking for, and they ask me if that course would apply to their specific situation. And as I mentioned, the course gives you the balance of universally applicable advice, but also I am telling you when it's the time to check how something works specifically in your field. But I want to address this because it is something that I can very much relate to when I think of my own job seeking journey. So very often I would refuse a resource, some kind of help, because I would say that it is not directly applicable to my specific situation. I often said that some advice is not applicable to me because I'm an expat, I live in a different country, because I'm a fresh graduate, or that the field that I work in is very specific. And that is actually not a very helpful approach, because then I was just, sitting at home, not having a job, not really doing much about it, and rejecting all advice and all resources that could have potentially helped me. In the grand scheme of things, my situation was not very unique. It was something that millions of people have gone through. So I completely understand that you want to make sure that you're looking for the right resources for your specific situation. I also want to offer that as a job seeker, as someone who's looking for a job in this globalized world, you probably have a lot in common with the job seekers that I have worked with and that I was able to help. And free yourself from this pressure that you can only follow advice that is specifically for someone with your seniority in your field, in your country. You may actually be just fine with more generic advice that is applicable to different fields, including yours. But it is fair that I give some scope of who I think this course is the most useful for when it comes to the fields in which I believe I'm 100% able to help you. That is mainly business and tech, which is something where I have my personal background in. I have my recruiter background in. That includes all the main areas such as HR, finance, marketing, logistics, operation, working in a startup, working in consulting. That is something I have experience with, and that I am 100% confident in saying that you will get a ton of value from this course. When it comes to more specialized fields such as lawyers, doctors, teachers, I still believe that you would get value from this course, but to stay in some kind of integrity with myself, I'm openly saying that these areas I do not have much experience with, and I can imagine that some of the approaches you need to take would be a little bit different that I'm not able to include into the course. But if you are a professional in business, in tech, really doesn't matter the seniority, even if you are a fresh graduate, even if you are someone with many years of experience, it will work for you. And when it comes to the geographical location, that is something that I was actually wondering how applicable it would be, because I'm based in Finland. I have worked as a recruiter in Finland. I have been a job seeker here, and I was not 100% sure that the advice I shared would be applicable in other regions. So I actually reached out to different recruiters in different countries, Europe and in the US. And I asked them if they would be willing to go through the material and tell me if that advice is applicable in their markets as well. And all of them told me that it is very similar, that they did not catch anything that would be radically different in their market. So now I'm confident to say that your geographical location does not matter so much. I believe it is the most applicable if you are in Europe or in, let's say, North America. There are a few points where I mentioned throughout the course that check how this is in your country or consider your specific cultural background, and the course will also work really well for you if you live in one country but you are interested in finding a job in another country. I'm not specifically talking there about relocation, but I am talking about how to establish yourself as a desired professional in the local market, how to network with people in the local market, and those will be very valuable. The next question I get asked is, what results can I expect when I go through the course? The main promise I'm giving is that you will find your dream job without losing your mind. What does that mean? It means that you will find a job that you actually want to do, that you are genuinely excited about. It's not just any job that you are taking to cover your bills. And you will get this job without feeling frustrated, without getting crushed by rejections. You can expect that you will understand overall the job market, the recruitment much better. You will understand your own value on the job market much better. You can expect that once you get through the videos and through the workbook and you implement the advice, that you will start getting much more interview invites. So you will not be so dependent on one individual interview, but you will have a leverage and be able to negotiate a good offer because you will be involved in several recruitment processes. And overall, you will become much more desirable in the job market. You can expect that you will become the kind of person who recruiters actually contact, who doesn't need to send job applications, but who hears about different opportunities through networking, through personal branding. You will become simply much more visible, much more desirable, which will also increase, for example, how high salary you can ask for. And another thing you will get is that you will have overall much better understanding of what kind of career path you want to pursue, what are your goals, and what you need to do to achieve those goals, which is no small thing. What I address the most with my clients is that they are confused. They are confused because they don't know what they want to do, they don't know what is realistic for them, and the course will give you the clarity of knowing exactly who you are and what you want. And that will make everything else so much easier once you are really clear on these topics. And following from this question, I also often get asked, does this course guarantee that I will get a job? And I was thinking about this for a long time because from the very beginning of when I started creating the course, I didn't want to create something that will help you have a better CV, that will help you be a bit better at networking. I wanted to create a resource that 100% will help you find you a job you actually want, and that will kickstart your career. And I also considered, when I was a job seeker, what kind of resource would I need? What kind of resource would actually help me succeed? I would have needed a resource that would make it impossible for me to fail. And that is exactly what the course is, because it addresses everything. It addresses the whole journey, but it also gives you tools to stay committed and motivated. It helps you to not give up, and it also helps you to troubleshoot. So if you are not seeing the results you want to see, if you're not getting invites for the interviews you want to get, there is a full lesson where I teach you how to evaluate your journey, how to look at your job seeking strategy, and how to understand exactly what you need to improve so that you do get these invites. So there cannot be a situation where you don't know what you need to do to succeed. So the only way that this course could fail you is if you don't finish it, if you don't go through it, and if you do not apply the advice. And if that is the case, if you are halfway through the course and you just feel really stuck and you find it really hard to continue, then you can send me an email, you can send me a message, and we will figure it out, and I will help you get through it, because that is my goal, that every single person who joins the course will find their dream job. So it is guaranteed that with the help of this course, you will find a job. For me, it's impossible to imagine. How could that not be the case? And some people have asked me, why don't I then offer a money back guarantee, which is a very valid question. But what I know from myself as someone who has invested in many, many online courses, if I buy a course that has a money back guarantee, then my level of commitment is lower, because I know that whatever happens, worst case scenario, I just ask for a refund. I just get my money back. And that affects how I show up. That affects if I really go all in, take all the advice, implement it all, and make that investment back. So my money back guarantee is that with the help of this course, you will find a job much faster than if you try to figure things out on your own. And you will also have the confidence and the leverage to ask for a higher salary, to negotiate a better offer. So you will make the money back, but instead of me paying you this investment back, you will make much, much, much more from your job. You will make much more money, not just to make this investment back, but so that you have money for your other life goals. That is really important for me. And I know that the best way to help you get to this place where you have a job that you enjoy, that you earn well from, is if you make a commitment, if you make an investment, then you commit 100% to apply the advice, and then you will, sooner than you may think, make your investment back. On this question on guarantees, few people have also asked me that they are really intrigued, they would really like to get the course, but that they feel like they have tried everything and that they have failed, and that they are worried that this course will be just another failure for them, which is a very valid question. But as I mentioned, if you go through this course, it is impossible that you will not get the results. The course was created primarily with my experience in mind, and I really got to a point where I felt like I have tried everything, and I just told myself that nothing will ever work for me, that I will never be able to find a job. And so I created this resource where I give you the advice. I tell you exactly how to implement it. I tell you how to stay accountable to yourself, how to actually do the things that you promised yourself that you will do, how to troubleshoot at any point if you feel like the results are not coming. You will know exactly what to do. You will be so much more empowered, and you will never wonder, why am I not getting interview invites? And most importantly, I also help you make the journey actually enjoyable. I'm not telling you to do things that will make you feel uncomfortable. Like, I used to hate when someone gave me the advice that I have to call the recruiters. I did not want to do that. So I make sure that all the advice that I give you, you will actually be excited to implement, because it will be personalized to your specific situation and to the kind of person you are. But I also address how to stay positive, how to stay motivated, how to deal with uncertainty, how to deal with all the negative aspects, so that you actually enjoy the job seeking journey. Or maybe enjoy is a strong word, but so that you are okay with it, that you are not on this constant emotional roller coaster, but you know what you need to do, you are getting it done, and you are seeing results. So if you are someone who feels like you have tried everything and nothing has ever worked, I can guarantee that this course is it. This will show you the blind spots. This will explain why all the previous advice hasn't worked, and it will help you build your personalized approach that helps you get the things you want to get from your career. So also, when someone asks me, I tend to buy a lot of courses, I tend to sign up for things, and then I don't show up. How will this course be different? I can relate. That has been my case. And I, again, created the course thinking like, okay, someone like me who tends to sign up for a lot of things and then not always finish it, what do I need so that it keeps me engaged? So I created the course so that it builds on top of each other, made it fun, and I actually incorporated into the course teaching you how to follow through, how to get back when you feel like you fell off the wagon. I made sure that I keep reminding you of the appealing goal at the end, that you're not just doing this to get some kind of job so that you have the unemployment office off your chest and your loved ones off your chest and they stop asking you, when will you find a job? I made sure that you remember why you're doing it, what's at the end, why it's worth doing the work, and that there is some super great job waiting for you at the other end. And my last guarantee to help you actually get through the course is that I am available. Yes, the course is self-paced, on demand. I'm not teaching you live, but that doesn't mean that you cannot reach out to me at any time and tell me, hey, I'm stuck. I've watched 2 modules and I want to continue, but it just seems really hard. There is no shame in that and no judgment. As I mentioned, I have been in that position myself, so I will not judge you if that's the case, and I will simply help you to get back on track. And the final questions are about money. So people have asked me if it's possible to pay in installments, and right now I do not offer that option because I simply want that you have access to the whole content at once and you can take it at your own pace. But as of right now, I'm not planning to increase the price, so you can save up for some weeks or months and get the course once you have saved up. If there would be the case that I do plan to increase the price, I will let you know months in advance so that you can still get it at a cheaper price. And the final thing I want to address is that when someone tells me that the course is too expensive for them, which first of all is completely fine. I'm completely fine when someone tells me that because we value different things. We have different financial possibilities. We see the value in different things. And if you think absolutely not, you will never invest this kind of money in yourself and in your success to find the job you would want, that is completely fine. I offer a lot of free resources on my website, so you're always welcome there and you can get value through that. But in my experience, both providing free content and consuming free content, I know that the impact is never the same as when you actually invest in yourself. So I, for example, run free webinars and people tell me, oh, this was so valuable, I am so inspired, but I know that in a few weeks they will probably not remember what that webinar was about because there was not a big commitment from their side. It was just a free webinar that they showed up to. They had nothing to lose. They maybe got some value from it, but the impact they can get from these free resources is nowhere near the impact they can get from taking my course. I keep talking about an investment because that is the actual way I think about it. The course is designed so that you will make the money back through the job that you will find as a result of going through the course. I am now someone who invests thousands of euros in my personal development. I have bought very expensive courses, very cheap courses. Altogether, I've invested a ton of money in myself, but it was a journey. So I can very much relate to someone being just at the start of the journey, being used to spending money on things, but not being used to investing money our own personal development and in getting the things that we want to get. I remember some years ago, I was listening to one podcast and the host of the podcast introduced like a paid membership. And I really wanted to join and I had absolutely no clue how much that could cost. So I then went to the link and then I saw that the price of the membership was roughly 50 euros a month. And I almost fell off a chair because that was so much money. I thought that I would absolutely never ever spend that much money for something like a membership in a personal development group. I was actually very angry with the podcast host. How can she charge so much? But then I just let it sit in my head. Then a few months later, I did decide to join, and it was very interesting experience because it was really the first time I invested in some kind of a course like that. I think I ended up being in the membership for about a year, so altogether I spent like 600 euros on that course or on that membership, but it was very transformative. Like the way I showed up, the way how seriously I took it, the way I was committed to make that investment back was like very new experience. When I was a job seeker, I of course had a very limited budget, very limited amount of money that I could spend, but I still had some money. But the way I spent that money was often on things to distract me from how miserable I felt. So I would buy new clothes, I would go to cafes to buy some nice cakes, went on some trips that I could afford, and all of these things made me very temporarily happy. They did not solve the problem. They did not actually help me to not be a job seeker, to actually have a job. But that is the path that I had to figure out for myself to finally understand where it makes sense for me to spend my money, where do I want to invest it, what kind of results do I want in my life, and what resources will help me to get these results. So I'm absolutely not forcing anyone, telling anyone how they should be spending their money, what is a valuable investment for them, what is not a valuable investment for them. But I simply want to give you the option to invest your money into solving a problem that you might be facing, which is that you are currently a job seeker and you do not want to be a job seeker. That is all. And I have also discussed with participants of the course if they feel like they got their money worth, if the value they got from the course was worth the investment. And everyone told me the value they got was much, much higher than this investment. That if the course costs 5 times as much as it does, they would still think it's a valuable investment. I'm not planning to make it 5 times more expensive. I think as it is affordable. It gives way more value than you are paying for, and that is very important for me. So those are all the questions that I have been receiving about the course, but if there is still something that you're wondering, you can ask me any questions that you might have, and I will be very happy to answer it. But I hope this helped you make the right decision if the Career Incubator course is the right resource for you and for your job seeking journey. And I will see you in the next video.